Hey, what's up, my friend? Today we're going to talk about the real reason that you're broke. And of course, how to fix it. Now, if you've been stuck and you want to get out of your own way, pay attention to the rest of this video. It might change your life. If you don't know who I am, my name is Joshua Latimer. I'm a father to 5. I've built and sold 4 of my own companies. And in addition to that, sold $20 million worth of stuff on the internet. I don't have all the answers, but I have figured out a lot of things. The first reason you might be broke is because of who you have become. What do I mean? Myron Golden does this amazing teaching called Be, Do, Have. And the whole idea is that you have to become more so that you're able to do more, which automatically means that you can effortlessly have more. See, most people walking around in the world, go to Walmart, go to a mall, look at people, everybody wants the haves without being the be. And what that means is, who do you have to become to effortlessly have the things that you desire? You know, desiring to have something is not enough. Everybody desires stuff. Sometimes when I do workshops, I'll ask the crowd, raise your hand if you want $1 million in your checking account. And all the hands go up. And I'll say, keep your hand up if you have $1 million in your checking account. And all the hands go down, right? Because desire alone isn't enough. We literally have to be more. And that doesn't mean work yourself to death. This is really an internal growth strategy of becoming more, having stronger character, having stronger resilience, increasing your skill sets and your mindsets, learning how to think differently. You have to literally be different than other people to ethically have more than other people. And if you only focus on the things that you want and the things that you don't yet have without focusing on who you're becoming, you'll be perpetually stuck. Or you'll have a flash of success, but it will all come crashing down, which is essentially why 86% of lottery winners go bankrupt within 5 years after winning the lottery, because who they actually are is not congruent with the bank account balance that they have. And give it enough time, a year, 2, 3 years, it auto-corrects itself. You know, people self-sabotage and always come back to who they believe they are. And the way to fix it is to be more. The second reason that many people are broke is because of blame culture. We live in a society where it's so easy to blame. I saw a TikTok short this morning where a guy cut off a semi-truck. The semi-truck honked at the guy, and so the guy got all butthurt that he got honked at, so he parked his car in the middle of the road and started pouting, right? Now, the guy that was pouting, that parked his car, is the guy that caused the problem in the first place, right? But in his mind, in his distorted reality distortion field, right, in his parallel universe, he was somehow, screwed over by the semi who was a meanie and was honking at him, right? And this is like compounded in the last 10 years, in my opinion, in Western society. Part of it, I think, is the decadence that we all live with, the excessive luxury we're all surrounded by. It's just the angst and the discontentment that people have from being digitally connected, but not actually connected. And, everybody's okay. Even poor people in the West have big screen TVs and Obama phones, et cetera, et cetera. And it kind of breeds misery. And it's easy to blame other people for your lack of success. Don't do that. It's like drinking poison and thinking that you're doing something to someone else. I think it was the unforgiveness quote is, when you don't have forgiveness for someone, it's like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. That's kind of what blame is like. So if your business is struggling and your bank account is not where you want it to be, it's real easy. It's a cheat code in the short term to be blaming your employees, that millennials don't want to work, and Gen Z or whatever the newest one. Will, what is it? Gen Alpha? It's not them, okay? It's you. You're the problem, and it's fixable. It's not Trump. It's not Biden. It's not the government. It's not your market. It's not that people are cheap and don't want to buy stuff. It's that you don't possess the skill sets and the mindsets and the character yet to solve the problem asymmetrically, and that's okay. I'm not on a high horse over here. I mean, I've done all of the things that we're going to go through, but you need to face the truth of it, right? So if you've had a little bit of a blame bend in the last few months and you felt stuck, I just want to call that out in an effort to love on you and help you. The third reason many people are broke is because they feel sorry for themselves. They genuinely do. You get beat up, you get a flat tire, everyone quits, you overdraft your checking account, who knows, something bad happens, and instead of, pushing through and having grit and resilience, you just say, I feel sorry for myself, right? I got a flat tire, boo-hoo for me. Nothing ever works out. Nothing ever goes my way. This is a dangerous, dangerous game. And what really sucks about it is that in modern society, being a victim is like cool. It's popular. Victimization is like the cool trend, right? High school kids think of a reason to be a victim for something because now they're part of a club. Don't do that. If you have a destiny on your life and you're a world changer, you know that God's called you for something, you got to stop feeling sorry for yourself, because most of the time, the mess that you're living in right now is the platform for your message in the future. The test that you're going through will literally become a testimonial for you in the future. You're gonna get stronger because things are hard right now. That's how it works. It's developing resolve and character in you. And all this stuff that's so hard for you, if you can push through, not feel sorry for yourself, but push through, you're gonna be able to impact all the people that look up to you and all the people that are around you. You know, I heard someone say that the graveyard is where the most valuable ideas are. And it's because people die having never done what they were destined to do. I don't want you to go to the grave with unmet potential buried in the dirt, right? We gotta push through, and every time you feel sorry for yourself, you're pushing pause on your own personal development. I'm not having lack of empathy. I understand how hard it is. I understand the anxiety of it, the mental health side of being a business owner, especially if you have kids and you're married. All of it's hard. Welcome to earth, right? But it's a mistake if you feel sorry for yourself, so knock it off. The fourth reason you might be broke is you have bad impulse control. There's a study done years ago called the marshmallow experiment. If you're not familiar with it, I'll just quickly tell you what it is. But they put some little kids in a room and gave them a marshmallow. And they told the children, you can eat the marshmallow if you want, but if you don't eat it and you wait until I come back, I'll give you another marshmallow. Then you'll have 2 marshmallows. And then the scientists would leave the room, and they had hidden cameras staring at the kids, and these kids are staring at the marshmallow, and they're like sweating like Bart Simpson, and they're like touching it and smelling it and like squishing it, and then 8 out of 10 kids eat the marshmallow. They just couldn't deal with it. They didn't tell the kids how long they'd have to wait. I think it was around 15 minutes they'd come back into the room, and a small percentage of kids that waited got a second marshmallow. What's even crazier than that, though, is that they followed for 20 years kids from the marshmallow experiment to see if there's any other parallels to success in general. And of course there was, because impulse control, being able to delay gratification, is literally a superpower as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, but it's really hard. If you worked as an employee for a boss that didn't appreciate you, you probably fantasized for years how the minute you got the money you really deserved, you were gonna buy the bass boat, you were gonna buy the new truck, you were gonna go on a vacation or do something, and now you have a business, and now you technically have the money, and now you have to make a decision. Are you gonna delay the gratification like the 2 out of 10 kids in the marshmallow experiment? Or are you gonna be like everybody else and buy the bass boat and spend the capital to reward yourself because you deserve it? Look, it's your money, you can do whatever you want. But when you look at high achievers, what they do is they're just better at delaying gratification. They make investments and sacrifices today that benefit them tomorrow, and it's not a one-time event, it's how they roll all the time. For a lot of business owners, the first thing they do when they wake up in the morning is start scrolling on their phone. And this is evidence that you have poor impulse control. We can correct it, we can fix it. I don't have all the answers on it, but start today, do it imperfectly. Start delaying gratification with little things like don't look at your phone until lunch, right? Or only check your email on your laptop, but not on your phone, because what you're doing is getting back in control of your own decision making. You're gonna focus on tomorrow, not today. Your bank account's gonna change, your confidence is gonna change, and everything about your life is ultimately gonna get better. Reason number 5, people are broke and stuck and miserable, is escapism. We live in an escapism culture. Am I right? Have you Netflixed and chilled or just binged a series before? Or you can get lost in TikTok for hours and hours and hours, or whatever your version of that is. It could be video games. It could be anything, but we try to escape. A lot of people say, everything I do is for my family. But really they work, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they say that everything they do is for their family. The truth, what I've found to be true in myself years ago and with a lot of people I work with, that's not true. They're actually using work as a way to escape the connection and responsibilities that they have at home, right? Humans are complicated people. I guess the question is where are you escaping to right now? Because it's okay to take a break. It's a bad idea to escape. Because it's easy to confuse the difference between busyness and productivity. And being busy is not the same thing as being productive. Being productive is moving the needle. It's doing the boring work. Are you comfortable sitting in the boring? Are you comfortable sitting in the mundane? Because that's where all the money is made. Nerd mode. We make money with our brain, not with our back. We don't need to always be in motion. You don't have to always answer the ringing phone. A lot of us keep ourselves busy doing busy work, but we're not actually moving the needle, and it's probably the reason that you're broke. The sixth reason that many people are broke is called abdication. Abdication, it's a fancy word. I'm not a fancy person, but that's just what this word is, abdication. What that means is when you give authority to something over to another person without really training or equipping them. You're taking your responsibility for something and just dumping it on someone else. So abdication can look like many, many things. A lot of business owners message me and they ask very common questions. And one of the most common ones is, Josh, how do I get a business partner? Or Josh, should I get a business partner, right? And I understand why people ask that. You know, I have had many business partnerships that were successful, although it is a dangerous thing, and maybe I'll make a different video about that. But here's the thing, abdication is when you are looking for someone to save your day. So you might hire an employee or hire a sales guy to work for you, and you think, oh, finally, now I'm gonna have leads and deal flow coming in. Thank God. You hire this person, you release them into the wild, and then nothing happens but disappointment and setbacks, and you even have less money than when you started. And it's because you've abdicated instead of delegated. Delegation takes a lot of work. When you hire someone, like a sales guy, for example, you have to fully train and equip and mentor and manage that person like forever. And so if you're just drowning hoping someone will save your day, that's you stepping into abdication. And this happens with marketing agencies as another example. You just throw money at it like, please God, just solve my marketing. Well, they never do, right? And you just keep wasting money, and then you start blaming, you feel sorry for yourself, and all the other things we're talking about in this video start to compound. You see, we need to delegate, not abdicate. The actual root word, abdication, it comes from back in like medieval times. You know, a king could abdicate his throne. And basically, he might be sitting on the throne and people think he's running the kingdom, but he's really just has someone else running the kingdom. And the kingdom will start to crumble, right? Because he doesn't want to deal with it. He doesn't want to get in the weeds. Look, you gotta get in the weeds with stuff. You gotta actually do the work. It's hard, it's confusing. You'll get stuck. It will be messy. You're still gonna make mistakes, but it's okay. Just don't abdicate. No one's coming to save your day. Don't hire the agency or hire the sales guy. Don't get a business partner just because you are drowning and overwhelmed. Maybe take a break, do a strategic reset, and then build a plan to delegate properly what problems need to be solved to a person where you can pay attention and manage it. And last but not least, reason number 7 why you may be broke or stuck or struggling or getting in your own way is because you're thinking too small. Did you know that having really little goals is a recipe for being stuck? Because your brain is trying to optimize for whatever outcome you're fixated on. And if you have a $500,000 business and you say, ooh, if the stars align with a little bit of luck, we can do $520,000 this year, right? That growth is so incremental, it's so small that your brain is subconsciously not gonna do anything, because you don't have to do anything fundamentally different or bigger. You don't have to think creatively to do the same thing you already did plus a little bit more. One of my former business partners, Brandon Vaughn, has a great story of this. He actually took over his father's window cleaning business. This is a 20-plus-year-old company. It did about $100,000 in revenue. His dad had a heart attack and couldn't work. So Brandon came in and bought the company from his dad, and he spent weeks putting together a business growth strategy. And this was when Brandon was like a new entrepreneur. He didn't know what he was doing. And after groveling over this business growth plan, he brought it back to his dad. He said, Dad, I have it all mapped out, month by month, marketing idea by marketing idea. I think we can do $120,000 in revenue this year, right? And both of them were super stressed out and thought that was too big of a goal, which is really funny. It's laughable because Brandon was thinking so small that it made it even harder for him to do big things. He just didn't know any better. Maybe you don't either. But the benefit of thinking bigger is that it causes you to have to solve the problem in a new, totally different way. You know, Brandon ultimately wound up doing like $500,000 a month pressure cleaning years later, right? Because he became more, like we talked about in the beginning. His skill sets and his mindsets changed, and he learned lots of lessons, and all the good and bad things that happen to everybody happened to him too. But at the end of the day, he stopped thinking small, which changed his entire life. The same thing is true for me. The same thing will be true for you. Hey, if you're getting value out of this video, don't forget to actually like and subscribe. I know everyone says that, but I'm Josh, I'm a real person. It means a lot. Actually click it. Actually share it with someone if you can, or leave a comment. Let me know what industry you're in and what types of videos we should make. Until next time, take care and God bless.